Okay, I've got a new listing and I wanted to share with you today how I handle new listings. I used to do what a lot of agents do, and that is send out these funky postcards, but what I know about these postcards is they end up in the trash. And they don't make a real impression. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you in this video how I leverage my new listings into not only finding buyers, but also finding additional new listings. So let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at the first thing that I do. I shoot a video. I want to show you just a 30-second video that I use on Facebook, to use on LinkedIn, and use on an email blast to get people interested in the listing. So here that is. We're here today in Shoal Creek. What we have here is a traditional colonial home. Down here you'll see the running creek, and that is Shoal Creek. And then around you is nature. You have a beautiful home set in the middle of the woods, and yet the convenience of a country club surrounding. Okay, now let's talk about, rather than the postcard, I send a just listed letter. It includes a number of things. Number one, my motive is, number one, to get showings, to get people interested in the house. And so I give a nice description of what the house is all about. I actually put it into a 2-page letter. This is the letter that I use, and I'll show you how you can get a copy of it. And in the letter, I really have 2 goals. One is to sell the house, get showings, and the second is to let people know that I do things differently, that I promote my houses in a different manner. So the letter starts out introducing them to the house. You'll see it carries 6 pictures. Again, your postcard usually just carried 1. I give a very full description of the house. It actually comes off my MLS listing information. I just enhance it a bit more. Then after I do that, down here I say, why am I sending you this letter? And I explain that, number one, I send it to targeted buyers. And I explain then how I identified them as a potential buyer. And I go into it in great detail. I say that I know there's a 60% probability that who's going to buy this house lives within a 3-mile radius. I also say that those people currently live in a house that is roughly 50 or more % of the value of the house that I'm trying to sell. So I'm giving them some tactics that I use, because what I'm going to tell you is that a lot of the people I'm sending this to are people who have their houses up for sale. That didn't seem like a real stretch to me. Who's going to buy my buyer's house? Well, the prime candidates are people who live within a 3-mile radius who have their house up for sale. Well, that information's available on by combining the MLS records with tax records. I can identify those people. So that's who I want to send this letter to. At the same time, what I'm doing is saying, if your agent isn't doing this, maybe you got the wrong agent. I don't say that, but I imply it. I explain to them further that currently there are 399 homes within the 3-mile radius, within that 50% price parameter, who are potential buyers to this house. That may be how you got on the list. I also explain that you might just be in the general neighborhood. This house in particular is in a gated community where you're not allowed to put up signs. So I want to make the people within the neighborhood aware that the house is for sale. Two motives here. I'm selling the house, and I'm reaching out to other people who are trying to sell their house to let them know that I'm a better real estate agent. That's where I'm going. That's what I'm trying to do. This is my tip number 7 on how to become a $1 million real estate agent. My objective here is to get you up to where you aren't just depending on your sphere of influence. You won't survive. Your sphere of influence isn't going to get you to the big money, isn't going to help you survive through the hard times. You have to have a means by which you inform people that you're better than most agents. I also explain in my letter that if they want to come and see the house, they're going to meet me because I show up for every showing of the house. Well, nobody else does that. The other thing that you need to realize, if you show up for every showing of the house, you're meeting people who are looking for homes. At some point, they may decide that their current real estate agent isn't who they want to work with. I mean, it could be 2 years before they actually buy a house, but they've met you. And you, if you're astute and you're good, you're going to learn their name. And you're going to make a note of that, and you're going to put them into your database so that they continue to learn about you. This business is all about relationships, yes. And one of the best places that you can establish a relationship with a qualified buyer and a qualified seller is in showing up for the showings of your listings. Does that make sense? I think it does. Okay, as I said, this is my tip number 7. I want you to do a couple things for me. Number 1, I want you to hit the subscribe button. After you do that, hit the bell, and that way you'll be notified of all future listings or future videos that I put out. And then I want you to go to this website. This is the website is bestofusagents.com. What you're going to find there is the ability to sign up for my free training program. What I do in that training program is every 2 weeks I send you something that I'm using. Like, you will receive a copy of my Just Listed letter. And you can copy it, or you won't copy it. You'll adapt it to your use. Why am I doing this? I want to build a tribe of agents who are going to be successful as we go through this monumental change of iBuying and Zillow offers and Open Door that are going to dig deep into our pockets, particularly at the low end price range. What you need to do is find yourself a successful way of going beyond your sphere of influence and reaching out to potential buyers and sellers and building a brand and building an awareness of your brand. So subscribe to my training course, costs nothing. Somewhere down the line, I may come up with a course of 4 hours that you can condense this, and there might be a price on that. I don't know yet. We're building this tribe. And then also, so that you understand what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and the integral parts of social media marketing, buy my book. It's a good read. It explains who I am. It explains how to use social media, and it explains what I believe is going to be happening in the real estate market in the future. So that's my tip number 7 to become a top real estate agent. And hang in there. I'll give you tip number 8 in maybe a week or so. Okay. Nice talking to you. Go out there and kill it.